Saitama stands in the middle of the street, holding a grocery bag in one hand. Milk spills onto the cracked pavement. The city around him is destroyed. A building tilts under its own weight. Cars lie overturned. However, no monster remains. A perfect crater opens at Saitama's feet. Empty. He looks down. Footsteps echo behind him. Then more. Heavy boots, armor, the low hum of powered suits. Saitama turns. Heroes block the street. They face him, not the threat. Weapons stay raised. Cameras stay live. Drones hover overhead. A voice speaks, tight and rehearsed. "You are interfering with an active operation. Do not move." Another voice follows, lower. "That's Saitama. He doesn't have a license anymore." Saitama looks past them, toward the broken buildings, toward civilians watching from shattered windows. "You guys came late," he says. No one answers. A warning flashes across their displays. "Unlicensed activity. Do not engage." Saitama shifts his weight, steps forward. Every hero freezes. This is the moment the Hero Association never prepared for. This is what happens when Saitama loses his hero's license. The notification arrives at 21:17 p.m. Saitama lies on his back, staring at the ceiling, counting a crack that runs from the corner of the room to the light fixture. His phone vibrates against the floor beside him. He reaches over, picks it up, and opens the message. Hero Activity License. Status updated. He reads the first paragraph, then the second. His thumb scrolls slowly, like he's expecting something else to appear. Suspended pending review. He scrolls back up and reads it again. Suspended. Pending what? There's no date, no instruction, no place to go, just a list of reasons that don't explain anything. Irregular operational impact metrics. Saitama squints at the words. Impact? Metrics? Is that about the punch? He scrolls to the bottom. A digital signature. A thank you line. That's it? He waits a second, thumb hovering over the screen. Maybe another message is loading. Maybe this one links to something else. Nothing happens. He locks the phone and lets it rest on his chest. So, I'm not a hero anymore, he thinks. The thought doesn't feel heavy. It feels misplaced, like someone telling him the sky's closed today. He sits up. Does this mean I shouldn't go out? He tries to picture staying inside while a monster attacks somewhere else. The image doesn't stick. He stands and opens the fridge. Cold air spills out. One half-used sauce bottle. No milk. I still need groceries. Outside, the street greets him the same way it always does. Broken pavement. Wind moving trash along the curb. People crossing without looking up. Saitama walks toward the supermarket, hands loose at his sides. Maybe they'll fix it later, he thinks. They mess stuff up all the time. Inside the store, he drifts through the aisles. He reaches for a carton of milk, pauses, then frowns. If I'm not licensed, does that mean I can't punch anything? He imagines standing in front of a monster, phone in hand, reading policy text while someone screams behind him. That'd be stupid, he mutters. He puts the milk in his basket. High above the city, the Hero Association stares at his data. Saitama's file sits open under anomalous contributors. Graphs stretch past their bounds. Models fail to converge. Each simulation either ends instantly or spirals into unusable noise. A junior analyst rubs his eyes. When he's included, the system stops working, he says. Threat duration hits 0. Damage forecasts won't generate. There's nothing to optimize. The senior official doesn't argue. Then remove him from active parameters. She gestures at the screen. We can't govern something that breaks the framework. But the outcomes, the analyst starts, are irrelevant if we can't plan around them, she says. Close the file. The command executes. Saitama's name disappears from live tracking. That evening, Saitama walks home with a plastic bag in his hand. The milk sloshes against the side. He stops once, mid-step, as something finally clicks. So they don't want me to do it anymore. He thinks about that for a few seconds. Then he shrugs and keeps walking. Guess I'll just do it anyway. The system has made its decision. Saitama has already made his. The monster appears just after noon. It crawls up through the street like something being forced out of the city itself. Concrete splitting. Rebar snapping, storefront glass shattering outward. People scatter in every direction. A bus swerves into a light pole. Someone trips. Someone else doesn't get up fast enough. Saitama arrives carrying a grocery bag in one hand. He stops at the edge of the destruction and looks at the thing. It's big. Loud. The kind that shouts its own name and purpose between swings of its arms. Saitama watches it crush a car, then glance around for its next target. All right, he thinks. Guess this answers that. He steps forward and punches it. The impact doesn't make a sound so much as erase one. The monster vanishes mid-motion, leaving behind a clean crater and a brief rush of displaced air. Dust lifts, then settles. What's left of the street groans as it adjusts to the absence of something that was there a second ago. Saitama lowers his fist and looks at the crater. Huh. Someone nearby starts crying. Another person laughs, sharp and breathless. Phones rise. Someone shouts his name. He turns, meaning to leave. That's when the heroes arrive. Heavy boots hit the pavement in sequence. Powered armor hums. Weapons lock into place. A half circle forms around him, clean and practiced, blocking off the street. Drones hover overhead, lenses focusing, red lights blinking to life. A hero steps forward, visor down, voice amplified. Civilian, remain where you are. You are interfering with an active operation. Saitama blinks. Operation's over. Another voice cuts in, lower, uncertain. Wait, that's Saitama. A pause ripples through the line. The first hero checks a wrist display. His posture stiffens. Saitama, he says carefully, you are not authorized to engage in hero activity in this district. Saitama looks at him, then at the crater, then back at the hero. Not authorized? Your license has been suspended, the hero says. You're required to stand down and submit to temporary detainment for review. Saitama shifts the grocery bag in his hand. Milk drips onto the broken pavement. So, he says slowly, you wanted it to keep going? No one answers. Behind the visors, eyes flick towards the civilians, watching from doorways and shattered windows. A warning flashes across internal displays. Unlicensed activity. Do not engage. Saitama takes one step forward. Every hero freezes. He doesn't raise his fists. He doesn't tense. He just walks. The line parts without meaning to. Someone lowers their weapon. Someone else looks away. Saitama passes through them and keeps going. By evening, the official incident report is finalized. The monster is listed as neutralized by coordinated hero response. Estimated engagement time, 3 minutes. Civilian casualties, minimal. One entry notes, unauthorized civilian interference resulting in operational disruption. Saitama's name appears once, flagged in yellow. Attached footage shows the street before impact, then the aftermath. The crater, the dust, the heroes arriving. The punch itself is missing. Cut cleanly, as if nothing happened between chaos and resolution. Credit is reassigned. Commendations are cued. The narrative holds. In a quiet apartment, Saitama rinses milk off his shoes and sets the empty grocery bag on the counter. Guess that's illegal now, he thinks. Outside, the city keeps breathing, saved, documented, and corrected. The punch is gone from the record. The rule is not. And for the first time, the line is clear. Not between monsters and heroes, between doing the right thing and being allowed to. Monsters keep appearing. Saitama keeps responding. He doesn't change his route or his timing. If he hears shouting, he follows it. If the ground shakes, he heads toward it. He still finishes fights in a single motion, still leaves behind clean streets and confused survivors. The only difference now is what happens afterward. Heroes arrive and slow down when they see him. They don't rush the scene. They don't call out orders. Some stop at the edge of the destruction and stare at the crater like it's evidence they don't know how to file. Others glance at their displays, then at Saitama, then back again. The delay stretches. Someone finally clears their throat. Thanks, a hero mutters once, voice barely audible as Saitama walks past. Another time, a woman in damaged armor bows her head quickly, then straightens as if afraid someone noticed. Not everyone reacts that way. A different team shows up late one afternoon, faces tight with irritation. "You didn't have to do that," one of them snaps. "We were already en route." Saitama looks at the broken street, the civilians already dispersing. "It was right there," he says. "That's not the point," the hero replies. He doesn't explain what the point is. He just turns away, jaw clenched. Every incident makes the next one worse. Inside the Hero Association, Saitama's file opens again, this time under a new label: Unlicensed Assets. The category sits between known threats and civilian variables. It contains 3 names at first. 2 are quickly removed. Saitama's remains. A directive circulates. Not public. Not formal. Monitor. Document. Discourage direct involvement. The language stays careful. No arrests. No confrontation. No escalation. Just presence. Just pressure. Surveillance drones adjust their patrol routes. Cameras linger a second longer when Saitama enters a frame. A marker follows his movement through the city, updating quietly, persistently. Lower-rank heroes receive their instructions during briefings that end too quickly. If he shows up, a supervisor says, you secure the perimeter. You inform him he's not authorized. You wait for backup. And if the monster's still active, someone asks, the supervisor pauses. You follow protocol. The next time Saitama arrives at a scene, 3 heroes are already there. A monster roars behind them, tearing at a building. Stand back, one of them says, stepping in front of Saitama. His voice wavers. This is an active operation. Saitama peers past him at the monster. It's still moving. We've got it, the hero says. He doesn't move. Saitama waits. The monster swings again. Concrete explodes outward. A scream cuts through the air. Saitama steps around the hero and ends it. Afterward, no one speaks. One hero glares at him like he's stolen something. Another won't meet his eyes. A third mouths thank you when the others turn away. Reports pile up. Each one uses the same phrasing. Unauthorized engagement. Operational interference. Unpredictable presence. The words accumulate weight, even as the streets he leaves behind grow quieter. Saitama notices the stairs now. The way heroes reposition when he approaches. The way conversations stop. He notices the drones. 2 tiny dots in the sky that weren't there before. Guess I'm in the way, he thinks. The city keeps getting saved. The system keeps getting angrier. Somewhere along the line, Saitama stops being a hero who helps too much. He becomes a problem that shows up uninvited, and leaves results no one knows how to accept. The heroes keep arriving to silence. Sirens still wail. Dropships still deploy. But again and again, teams step into districts where the fight is already finished. A crater smokes. Steel cools. Civilians peek out from behind shattered doors and point down the road. He already left. At first, the Hero Association treats it as coincidence. Then the data piles up. A-class rankings begin to slide. Heroes like Amai Mask and Ayayan maintain flawless response times, yet confirmed victories vanish from their records. Sponsorship metrics dip. Broadcast segments grow awkward. Hosts filling time, replaying sirens instead of battles. Public trust doesn't collapse. It wavers. People still respect heroes, but they hesitate before calling. Some wait, watching the street instead, hoping the other one arrives first. Stories spread faster than official statements. A bald man, plain clothes, no pose, no speech, a single punch. Gone before the cameras catch up. They give him names. The Ghost Hero. One punch. That guy who doesn't wait. Inside the Hero Association, frustration curdles into resentment. Meetings drag on. Safety briefings get rushed. Optics take center stage. Someone brings up camera placement again. Someone else suggests earlier arrival announcements to establish presence. That doesn't matter if there's nothing left to fight. Stinger snaps, slamming a hand on the table. He's not stealing credit, another hero says, voice tight. He is stealing purpose. No one argues that, so the association decides to make a point. The next time Saitama finishes a fight and turns to leave, he finds the street blocked. 5 A-class heroes stand shoulder to shoulder. Among them are Amai Mask, flawless and cold, and Ian, hand resting near his sword. Their stances are deliberate. Behind them, leaning casually against a shattered lamppost, stands an S-class hero, Atomic Samurai. The air changes when Saitama stops. This area is secured, Amai Mask says, voice smooth and sharp. You're not authorized to be here. Saitama looks past them. No monster, no civilians, just heroes. Okay, he says. I was leaving anyway. He steps forward. Atomic Samurai straightens. You walk when we say you walk, he says, tone calm but edged. Otherwise, we make it clear. He moves in a blur, fast enough to be unmistakably intentional. A warning strike, close, controlled, a show of dominance meant to draw a line. Saitama shifts his weight. The blade passes through empty air. Atomic Samurai stumbles half a step forward. Balance broken for a fraction of a second. Before he can fall, Saitama reaches out automatically and steadies him by the shoulder. Careful, Saitama says. You almost slipped. The street goes silent. Yayan freezes. Amai Mask's expression tightens, just slightly. Atomic Samurai straightens slowly, fully aware of what just happened and what it means. Saitama lets go and walks past them. No punch, no fight, no victory to record. Later, the report describes the incident as verbal non-compliance and potential escalation avoided. Atomic Samurai's name appears. Saitama's does not. Resentment hardens after that. Some heroes glare openly when Saitama appears. Others look away. A few, usually lower ranked, murmur quick thanks when no one else is listening. The monsters keep disappearing. The heroes keep arriving late. And the system responds the only way it knows how, by doubling down on visibility, authority, and control. But the city is learning a different lesson. The heroes who follow procedure arrive to empty streets. The hero who doesn't ask permission leaves nothing behind. And somewhere between sirens and silence, Saitama keeps walking, turning victories into liabilities, and heroes into witnesses of their own irrelevance. Genos finds Saitama on the balcony, watching the street below like he's waiting for something to happen. Master, Genos says. His voice is tight, restrained by effort. We need to talk. Saitama glances over. About what? About the fact that they are deliberately treating you as a liability, Genos says. About the fact that heroes are being instructed to delay response times when you are present. About the fact that your name has become something they refuse to say out loud. Saitama leans on the railing. Still seems fine. Genos' jaw tightens. It is not fine. They are teaching people that permission matters more than results. He pauses, then adds quietly. They are teaching heroes to hesitate. Saitama shrugs. People are still alive. Yes, Genos says sharply, because you ignore them. The words hang there longer than Genos intends. He straightens. Master, if you continue acting alone, they will come for you. Not openly, not honestly, but they will. Saitama looks back toward the street. That sounds annoying. Genos clenches his fists. Then I will make it their problem instead of yours. From that day on, Genos stops pretending to comply. When orders circulate instructing heroes to discourage unlicensed assets, Genos arrives beside Saitama anyway. When dispatch tells him to stand down, he moves forward. When questioned, he gives the same answer every time. He is my master. The Hero Association notices immediately. Genos' status updates quietly. Compromised asset. Surveillance widens. Drones linger near Saitama's apartment. Cameras fix on the balcony. Officials stop discussing public response and begin discussing containment. Genos is the leverage, one says. He won't abandon him, another replies. And unlike Saitama, a third adds, he can be handled. They choose the heroes carefully. The alert goes out near dusk. A monster sighting in an industrial zone. Genos responds alone. The area is empty when he arrives. Too empty. Then the air shifts. Two figures descend first. One lands lightly, sandals scraping against concrete, sword already resting at his side. Atomic Samurai doesn't draw his blade. He doesn't need to. His presence alone draws a line. Above, psychic pressure crashes down like a weight on the chest. Tatsumaki floats in the air, arms crossed, expression sharp with irritation. "So, this is the disciple," she says. "You look weaker than I expected." Around them, A-class heroes step into position. Amai Mask watches Genos with open disdain. Yayan grips his sword tightly, eyes conflicted but obedient. Atomic Samurai speaks first. "Genos, stand down. You're acting against association authority." "I am acting as a hero," Genos replies. Tatsumaki scoffs. "You're acting like his shadow." Genos raises his arm slightly. "If defending my master makes me compromised, then so be it." That's enough. The attack comes fast. Psychic force slams Genos sideways, crushing him into a wall. He recovers instantly, thrusters flaring, counterattacking with controlled fury. Blades flash, explosions tear through concrete. Genos fights with everything he has, but it's not a duel, it's a correction. A strike from Atomic Samurai breaks through his defense. A psychic blow pins him to the ground. A-class heroes move in, hesitant at first, then harder when no one stops them. "Restrain him," Amai Mask orders. "No heroics." Genos tries to rise. His systems scream warnings. A boot presses into his chest plating, cracking it inward. Across the street, a grocery bag hits the pavement. Milk spills. Saitama looks up. He sees Genos on the ground. He sees Atomic Samurai standing over him, sword finally drawn. He sees Tatsumaki watching with bored impatience. He sees Amai Mask looking satisfied. Genos turns his head just enough to see Saitama. He doesn't shout. He doesn't warn. He only meets his master's eyes. And in them, Genos sees confirmation, not fear. Saitama takes one step forward. The street goes silent. This isn't policy anymore. This isn't inconvenience. This is a disciple bleeding at the feet of heroes who decided obedience mattered more than justice. Genos knows what comes next. The others don't. And in that moment, the story stops being about licenses and authority and becomes something far more dangerous. A man who never cared about rules, now caring very deeply about his friend. Saitama moves. Not fast, not slow. Just forward. The air tightens the moment his foot leaves the ground. Atomic Samurai feels it first. A pressure that doesn't belong to killing intent, but to inevitability. Tatsumaki's expression sharpens, the psychic field flaring instinctively. Amai Mask's confidence fractures for half a second. That half second matters. Saitama's fist draws back. Genos, crushed against broken concrete, systems failing, looks up and understands immediately what this moment is about to become. "Master, don't!" Saitama doesn't hear him. Atomic Samurai's hand tightens on his sword, but he doesn't draw in time. Tatsumaki's psychic field closes around him, and for the first time, she feels it give way. Then, the city screams. A detonation blooms across the horizon, violent, sudden, unmistakably artificial. The ground bucks, windows implode outward, a pillar of smoke claws its way into the sky, followed by something larger moving inside it. Every head turns. Genos doesn't waste the moment. With the last strength left in his shattered frame, he grabs Saitama around the torso and ignites his thrusters. The sudden acceleration tears them both upward, ripping concrete loose beneath their feet. Saitama blinks, confused, disoriented. They vanish into the smoke-streaked sky. No one gives chase. Atomic Samurai exhales slowly. Tatsumaki watches the explosion instead of the retreating figures. Amai Mask lowers his arm, jaw clenched. Because they all feel it. If that punch had landed, there would have been no narrative left to fix. The explosion wasn't an accident. Deep inside the Hero Association's command center, Analysts' watch feeds stabilize on the new threat. A massive entity, partially biomechanical, tearing through a district already marked for redevelopment. The timing is too precise, the alert too clean. An executive folds their hands. Deploy all available high-ranking heroes. S-class priority. This is their opportunity. Opportunity for what? A junior official asks. To demonstrate operational independence, the executive replies. We cannot allow a single unlicensed variable to define our effectiveness. Orders go out fast. All S-class available. Immediate response. No external interference permitted. This time they arrive first. A spacecraft descends. Silent, massive, its shadow swallowing entire blocks. It is wider than the streets beneath it, stretching like a floating battlefield, its underside opening in layered segments. And then the monsters come. They pour out in waves. Winged forms dive screaming into the city. Armored beasts slam into rooftops, crushing steel and concrete alike. Serpentine things coil through streets, tearing through evacuation routes. Machines, creatures, hybrids, none matching, none coordinated in any pattern the heroes recognize. There is no leader in sight. No command signal, no visible control. Just numbers. Too many. The city erupts. The threat doesn't overwhelm them. It outlasts them. And everyone watching understands the truth at the same time. They could end this if they allowed him back. No one says it. The city doesn't fall all at once. It frays. From the sky, winged creatures descend in screaming waves, tearing through evacuation corridors faster than they can be cleared. On the ground, armored beasts crash through streets, shrugging off artillery and brute force alike. In districts already secured, something worse happens. Regenerating organisms crawl back together, reforming from scraps, rising again in places heroes already won. There is no front line, only pressure. At the eastern sector, Tatsumaki holds the sky hostage, entire clusters of monsters crushed and twisted into spheres of wreckage. She flings them aside without slowing, psychic output spiking higher with every passing minute. In the south, Atomic Samurai cuts through armored ranks in clean, impossible arcs, bodies falling before they realize they've been struck. Elsewhere, a My Mask leads precision strikes, tearing through anything that threatens civilians, expression sharp and unforgiving. And still, the monsters keep coming. Every destroyed unit is replaced. Every cleared zone fills again. No matter how hard the heroes hit, nothing accumulates. Victory never stacks. It resets. Reinforcements arrive. Bang enters the fray with calm efficiency, redirecting shockwaves, breaking momentum, coordinating close-quarters defense wherever lines begin to buckle. His presence stabilizes collapsing fronts, temporarily. Then King appears. He doesn't attack. He doesn't move much at all. But the monsters notice him immediately. Several turn. Others hesitate. The pressure shifts, drawn toward him as if sensing something catastrophic just out of reach. Finally, the sky darkens with machinery. Metal Knight deploys drones in vast formations. Heavy artillery slams into the streets. Precision strikes tear holes through advancing hordes. The battlefield stabilizes. But it doesn't improve, because something becomes clear. The monsters don't retreat. They don't adapt tactically. They don't defend anything. They advance, die, and are replaced. Without hesitation, without concern. They don't care if they die. And that realization changes the question. Not how strong are they, but why is this happening at all? Inside the Hero Association, panic is dressed up as procedure. Analysts tear through data feeds, isolating signals that aren't there. No command frequency, no psychic nexus, no centralized leader coordinating the Legion. Every monster acts independently, yet all move with the same purpose. Emergency communications flood in. We need priority targets. Evacuation route Delta is collapsing. Is there a control unit we can neutralize? The association has no answer. Orders overlap. Directives contradict. Time is bought with words instead of solutions. Screens fill with chaos, and no one can point to the source of it. Then, for the first time since the invasion began, someone notices what hasn't changed. The ship. The massive spacecraft, larger than a football ground, still hangs in the sky, silent. It hasn't launched anything new. It hasn't repositioned. It has simply waited. A quiet spreads through the command floor. On the battlefield, the same realization ripples outward. The ship begins to move. Hull plates fold inward like muscle tightening beneath armor. Engines lock, rotate, and retract. The structure bends, reshapes, reconfigures. Metal and organic matter merging into something unmistakably alive. The spacecraft completes its transformation. It stands upright. A Godzilla-sized titan looms over the city, biological and mechanical, its mass blotting out the skyline. It roars, and the monster legion responds as one, surging with renewed ferocity. Then it opens its mouth. A colossal beam of fire tears through the city, erasing entire blocks in seconds. Concrete vaporizes, steel melts. One sweep of its massive claw sends rows of buildings collapsing like paper. For the first time, the heroes stop, not out of fear, but confusion. What do they fight? The endless monsters flooding the streets, or the newly revealed source towering above them? Orders fracture. Strategies collapse. Tatsumaki strains, torn between holding back the horde and attacking the titan. Atomic Samurai stands still for a heartbeat too long, eyes tracking between targets. Bang calls for regrouping, voice steady but urgent. Metal Knight pulls drones back, recalculating, disengaging from a battlefield that no longer makes sense. King stands silent. The battlefield breaks apart, not because the heroes are weak, but because clarity is gone. Far from the chaos, Saitama stops. The skyline burns. The titan looms in the distance. For a moment, he simply looks at it. His phone beeps. A message from the Hero Association. A request. Assistance. He doesn't open it. Genos, Saitama says instead, turning slightly. You okay? Genos nods, confused by the timing, by the calm. Yes, but Master... Saitama looks back toward the city. Then I think I'll go. Genos hesitates. Please, don't hold grudges. And don't punch Atomic Samurai into smithereens. Saitama smiles, a small, almost playful smile. I won't. He steps forward. The battlefield is worn down. Heroes stand in broken streets with blood on their uniforms and dents in their armor. Blades hang heavy in tired hands. Psychic pressure flickers, rising and collapsing as concentration slips. The monster waves slow, but they keep coming, pushing into spaces that were already cleared minutes ago. Saitama steps into the street. No impact follows him. No sound marks his arrival. He walks forward with his hands at his sides, tracksuit scuffed at the cuffs. He doesn't look at the monsters first. He looks at the people still standing. One hero straightens when he sees him. Another lowers their weapon without realizing it. A third exhales and shifts their footing. No one calls out his name. They just make room. Tatsumaki turns sharply, psychic energy snapping into place on instinct. Saitama notices her and raises a hand, waving with a wide, easy smile. Hey. Her eyes narrow. Exhaustion flickers across her face. Then irritation takes its place. Psychic force flares around her shoulders. You show up now, she says. After all this? Saitama blinks once, then keeps walking. He steps over cracked pavement and fallen steel. Near the center of the street, Bang stands with his posture held together by discipline rather than strength. Breathing measured, knuckles scraped raw. Saitama stops beside him. Don't worry, he says. I'll end it in a second. Bang looks at him. Not at the sky, not at the Titan. At Saitama. He nods once and steps back. Tatsumaki hears it and snaps, You don't get to act like this is nothing. Saitama tilts his head, confused. Isn't it? The Titan roars. The ground shudders beneath their feet. Heat rolls outward as fire gathers in its throat. Atomic Samurai lowers his blade without looking away. My mask stops advancing, jaw set tight. Bang lifts 2 fingers and gestures back. Heroes step aside. No command passes between them. No signal is given. They simply stop being in the way. Saitama looks up. He bends his knees and jumps. The punch lands. The Titan breaks apart from the point of impact. Metal folds inward. Organic mass tears free and vanishes. The rest of the body collapses mid-air, losing shape before it can fall. Across the city, the monsters stop. Creatures in flight turn brittle and fall apart. Armored forms collapse where they stand. Regenerating bodies fail to knit themselves back together and go still. The streets empty. Debris settles. Fires die down. Smoke thins. Heroes stand where they are. No one speaks. No one moves towards Saitama. Inside the Hero Association, screens show the same street from multiple angles. Someone reaches for a console. Their hand pauses, then drops back to their side. Nothing is said. Saitama lands, dusts his hands on his tracksuit, and scratches the back of his head. Okay. Done. He turns and walks away. No cameras follow him. Behind him, heroes remain where they are, watching the space he leaves behind. While somewhere else, a system begins the quieter work of pretending this was always under control. The city slowly recovers. Rubble is cleared behind temporary barriers. Streets reopen in stages. Buildings are repaired or replaced. Heroes return to regular patrol routes, responding to smaller threats that no longer make the news. People stop talking about the invasion. They stop mentioning the ghost hero. Life moves forward because it has to. Saitama and Genos eat dinner at home. It's an ordinary meal. The television plays softly in the background, showing footage of reconstruction and calm statements from officials. Saitama eats without paying much attention. His phone beeps. He looks at the message, then slides the phone across the table to Genos. Looks like we're heroes again. Genos reads it carefully. Saitama's license has been reinstated. No apology, no explanation, just confirmation. So, what now? Genos asks. Saitama shrugs. I was always doing the same thing anyway. Genos nods. That answers the question. Inside the Hero Association, a short memo circulates. Saitama is acknowledged. He will not be supervised. He will not be confronted. His actions are to be unofficially tolerated. The wording avoids names where possible. The decision is framed as procedural. Nothing else is said. Saitama goes back to his routine. He buys groceries. He walks home. He punches monsters when they appear. He leaves before anyone arrives to document it. The city remains intact. Life continues. The system stays in place by not looking too closely. And Saitama remains what he has always been. Not because of a license, but because he never needed one.